farò tutto in italiano, diciamo grazie a lei che cercherà di tradurre quello che dico. Allora io vi saluto nuovamente, vi dico che sono il responsabile coordinatore del centro visite
of the visitor center of the Gargano and Lagoon of Lesina, and as we said this morning, the presentation and the characteristics of the area. So our center is of environmental documentation and training of the territory. It is recognized by the Minister of the Environment and Protection of Seas. So it really makes part of the training information for the overall educational, environmental education inside the Italian minister. So this is one of the main training centers that we have in Italy. Yes, there's another part of my slide. Yes, right, this one. Right, this is the first slide, where we see the center, the picture, and we have the logos on, first part. Where is the pointer? How does it work? Yeah, great. The right upper part. It doesn't work. So we have the partners of the visitor center and the Gargano Park concerning the whole area of Gargano. Then we have the Puglia region, then the Minister of the Environment, MIT, the municipality, and partnership with the CNR, the Center for Research, for the scientific research, because we handle also aquariums, as we'll see afterwards, but also the labs, scientific labs that we manage inside the center. So these are the 5 centers inside our area. Look at the part in Italy. We are in the 1,000 part, Puglia region, 5 centers. 2 of them have inside animals, living animals, while the other 3 have mainly equipment for, visits and so on. Now, what about the 2 centers? Ours is here, is number 5 on the map, and we have animals which are of different species that we'll see afterwards. First of all, let's see the history of our center. It was inaugurated in 1998 as Center of Environmental Documentation of Lesina. Then 2002 inauguration of the Aquarium and transformation into visitor centers of the National Park of Gargano. 2008 we obtained the certification by INFEA from the Minister of the Environment, and 2012 we have this NGO, the Friends of the Lesina Lagoon, which is managing the center. Then what about the structure of our visitor center? We have a natural museum, we have an ethnographic museum, we have an aquarium, a lab for biodiversity, but also terrarium for reptiles. Then we have a park dedicated to ornithological species, then archaeological site of San Clemente, the opportunity to make a tour through with the boat on the lagoon, and we have a trail, naturalistic trail in the so-called island woods. Let's see the first session, the Natural Museum section. It is a path which handles actually 2 aspects. The first for the flora and fauna, especially protected species. We have a lot of maps seeing in details what we have, how is the park developed. So we also have inside the museum display cases, and this is the University of Bari, which helped us, the science department of the University of Bari, who made made a catalogue of all the plants present, 2,700. So incredible, very high index of biodiversity inside the museum. So very rich collection inside the park. We are inside the labs for biodiversity workshops, partnerships with the CNR, and we try in that area to make a trip, actually. It is really a practical trip between the earth and the sea. Now, what about the tactile lab? We have this opportunity for youngsters to use those boxes containing each land and sea items. And inside the boxes you have objects and elements belonging to the sea and land. For example, in the land area you can have sponge, marine sponge, or bivalve, or other species, while in the land one we have fruits or pollutant elements. So the student tries with his hand to discover, to understand, and to feel what is this element. Then the two pictures down show the gentleman. He is actually a professor, teacher. He brings the children, the students, and the teacher is very important because he's, fundamental in his role. Then we have the olfactory lab. In that case, the students are blindfolded and they use only smell, and through smell they can, recognize a fruit or a spice and so on. So really, it's incredible because they must guess, what it is. And so fruit, species, but also herbs, spontaneous herbs inside the park. And then we have also the visual labs. In that case, the students are, on the Lagoon shore, and they need to make a collection through a net, using a net. With a net, they must collect everything on the sea, and through the microscope they will examine what they have collected, so you can examine all the microorganisms they have captured. So all those labs are made with the help and the assistance of experts and biologists and scientists. This is the ethnographic session. We have actually the Fisherman's House, which is a museum, and we try to collect, we illustrate actually the material and immaterial heritage. So the first part is dedicated to objects, equipment for fishermen, but not only, also other craftsmen. Could be the farmer, could be the craftsman in general, with the axe, using, the craftsman with the axe building the boats in wood. So you have here the reproduction exactly of that situation, the true house, the real house of the fisherman. So really the typical house, you have the bed, you have the kitchen, you have everything. So here, from 2015, this museum belongs to the ministry, Italian Ministry of Cultural Activities. Then we also have these reptiles terrarium, and we keep these species of Testudo hermanni. Why? Because they are autochthone species, and they really have this opportunity to discover them. Then we collect the Trachemis scripta, which are allochthone. So we handle both species. From 2013, we have dedicated this ornithological park in partnership with Federcaccia. We have built this with it is an association of hunters. Actually, we wanted to involve them, hunters, in the so-called environmental education, trying to reduce the impact of their activity of hunting. So we have 1 hectare by the visitor center. We are focused on between land and water ecosystems, and the idea is to protect the animals from the visitors, because animals are free to get inside, to do whatever they want. The first animals put there were useful in order to attract the other animals, which are coming season after season inside this area. And this is the aquarium. It is really interesting. We have 14 tanks with orthozone and allochtone species well adapted to the habitat. And in our lagoon, we have both species, as Raffaele said this morning. So, of course, they are now used to our habitat. And what is very interesting here is that the aquarium reproduces the lagoon hydraulic system, going from fresh to brackish water, ending with the sea one. So it gets really to the end of the process. So this is, let's say, really the whole circuit, the whole functioning. Then it's underground, connected to the lagoon for the water, and the total volume is 60,000 liters. Now, what about the San Clemente archaeological site? It is an island, actually, inside the lagoon, this one, on the pointer you see here. It is named after the Benedictines convent built in 1165. We actually had a cross at the beginning. You could only see this cross from the shore. Actually, we have made different discoveries there. And this cross was made just on memories of that famous Benedictines convent, which was made to welcome the pilgrims, which were, crossing the St. Francis Way from Mont Saint-Michel in France, getting to the Gargano, in the Mont Saint-Michel of the Gargano region, and this is one of the steps, one of the structures welcoming the pilgrims which were crossing the St. Francis Way. So the convent was destroyed in 1627 after a tidal wave, and then we built. It was built on a Roman foundation, and the Peschiera Romana was 2nd century before Christ. So what happened? This monastery its convent was really built on those foundations. At the beginning, we thought it was a Roman domus, but then we understood it was really a peschiera. What do I mean by that? A lab of elaboration processing for fishes. You have the tanks, you can see everything, and really you have the different tanks. It's very important because we can really, connect it to our lagoon, and it is really the Roman heritage of that period of time. And it is in the Adriatic Sea, and the only one which is in the Adriatic Sea. And now we have built this connection from the island to the main place. This is the trail that we have built, so-called naturalistic trail in the island's woods, as we said before. Right, these are some examples, some species that we can find, Myrtle cistus, Erica multiflora, and so on. And we wanted to create a circuit to bring the children, the students, on a circular tour for 1.5 hours. And, when they're fed up, we just make the crossing of the dune from the shore till the sea. And this is the tour. This is a tour we can make on in the lagoon with this boat. And, if you want to organize it for groups. It's really nice because you leave the bus when you get inside the Lesina city, then you take the boat, you make the tour on the dune, and then with the boat you come back and you do not make the whole circuit with the, transports. These are the numbers for visitors. From 2013 to 15, we have visitors, actually. So students, in that case, only students. So it is a positive trend, and we're very happy of our job, actually. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you so much. Grazie mille. Era molto interessante vedere il lavoro educativo che hai fatto, veramente molto interessante tutto il percorso che hai fatto formativo per i ragazzi, le università, il coinvolgimento degli insegnanti, dei ragazzi. E quindi poi è anche bello vedere che avete lavorato con i cacciatori, e questo è un buon esempio che tu hai dato in effetti per capire come è molto importante, infatti esattamente, quindi ottimo che siano con noi, diciamo, no, dalla nostra parte, e questo è molto importante. Quindi come è stato facile o meno coinvolgere questi cacciatori?
No.
Non è stato. It was not easy. It was not easy at all. It was really a fight. But we obtained a result immediately because we created a synergy, and they learned to collect, all their stuff, and not leaving them on the floor, in the sand, on the, everywhere. So there, yes, great. And that's a lot. Sì, infatti, ottimo. Ci sono domande nei commenti?
Une question un peu humoristique. Est-ce que vous utilisez le parc ornithologique comme exemple de pollution dont on nous a parlé ce matin, de la lagune?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We have a collaboration, actually, but also sometimes, we argue. So we try to argue in a scientific way, and this is very important because you must, make a difference, because when you have people, handling like the management or the maintenance and so on, we have some difficulties sometimes. As visitor center, we are, of course, on the scientific part, totally, 100%. So for the control of species, and for the museum you were dealing with, so, and as for the pollution. So yes, in order to solve things, and that was created 3 years ago, so we need time. So this is what I think. We need a little time.
Thank you. Any other questions? One coming up.
Fino a 10 anni fa I cacciatori
10 years ago, the hunters were very present, even in the, around the lake. And today we can see the birds, which are, free, and also everyone can live in their habitats, even near the city. So this is a great collaboration that we have, a good balance, from the region, and also the collaboration with the hunters is great. And they are aware of the situation. They are aware that the birds must be, free, happy to live in their natural habitat, not to see them, to not only to capture them. And this is great. And it's also pleasant to have a stroll there and to walk and to see the beauties of the sea. Yes, of course, we do not have one historical data which is linked to the economy of our lagoon, of hunting activities, which is very, very important. It was even much more than the fishing activities. Imagine that. So really, they are very present. There are a lot of people who hunt. Hunters are very, powerful. So whenever you have a national, park inside the lagoon, having a series of constraints and things, it is really huge, and it was, difficult. So I mean by that we have a great awareness of that category of people, and we have made really a lot of progresses. Absolutely. Of course, we can do better. Of course.
Any further questions? One more.
C'est plus un commentaire qu'une question. En fait, je suis content de voir qu'il n'y a pas qu'au lac de Grand-Lieu que tout le monde est capable de s'entendre autour d'une table. Donc nous ici aussi, on est confrontés à les mêmes problèmes ou des problèmes un petit peu différents, mais la chasse est concernée au lac de Grand-Lieu. C'est ce qui a d'ailleurs protégé le lac de Grand-Lieu pendant très longtemps. S'il n'y avait pas eu ces familles de chasseurs qui avaient protégé le lac, aujourd'hui, il n'existerait peut-être plus. Ils y ressembleraient peut-être à un polder, comme nous a présenté hier le premier intervenant. Donc effectivement, on peut avoir tous des intérêts communs à la protection d'un milieu, avec bien sûr des objectifs différents en fonction de nos corporations.
I do agree, absolutely.
Great. Any further comments? Great. Okay. Thank you,
Grazie.
Giacomo. Grazie.